So I'm actually here to talk about my Canon R5c, but I am shooting on my Nikon ZR for the first time in this studio setting, and I wanted to kind of test out what the white balance was, how the exposure is going to come out and everything. So please, at some point, drop me a comment and let me know what it's actually looking like. If it looks good, great. But never mind that. I really felt like after owning the R5c now for about, I want to say 6 or 7 months, I want to talk about, what I find are the 5 biggest things that makes this a great camera, even in 2026. So let's get into it. So let me start by saying that I think the Canon R5c is still the best bang for your buck in 2026. I mean, it's early in the year, and I still have yet to find something that actually matches the amount of capacity you're going to get from this camera. The 8K MP4 is probably my favorite codec right now. It's light, it's 8K, you can shoot up to 60 frames per second, and it looks really sharp and very nice, and grades super easy. I know that the C-Log3 is not everybody's favorite, but to me, I think it's totally fine, and I think that for 90% of use, I think it's perfect. So there's no reason to really complain about C-Log3 if you ask me. One thing about that codec, even at an MP4 and it being really compressed, it is super sharp. And it just gives the footage a really professional look. I've been using it a lot for my talking head videos here for my main business, which is a gym equipment sales guy, which is what I do. But I just love cameras and I love shooting video. And my goal in life is to actually shoot movies. So this was my segue into making movies. So whatever. But anyway, so the fact that I'm shooting 8K and I could zoom into it, it does not make me feel like I need open gate, which is great. And I managed to snag this thing for no money, so I'm pretty pumped about it. And the more I use it, the more I love it. So very first thing I will say is that the sharpness of the camera is pristine and it's absolutely beautiful when you capture it. Another reason why I got this camera is because it's actually Netflix approved. I wanted a Netflix approved camera just because I want to shoot movies for Netflix again, so why not find something like this? Now, I found that the cheapest entry would have been probably to get an S1H from Lumix, and I love Lumix cameras. If you know this channel, you know that it's mostly what I used to shoot on, but the autofocus on that S1H is just nowhere near as good as this one, so it just wouldn't have made any sense to me to use an S1H when there's this thing out here. Yeah, the open gate is cool again, and I'm sure that a lot of people will disagree with me, but I think this is a better camera than the S1H, especially for the money. For like an extra $500, you could have maybe $600, you could have one of these versus the S1H. So that's another huge reason why I think that this is a great camera in 2026. Another really cool thing is that I have the ability to get 32-bit float out of this, and I haven't been using 32-bit float. I never truly use it. I think I should. It's a professional tool that I think I should be using if I'm considering myself a professional, but I haven't needed it. But the fact that I could get the Tascam unit on this and just add it to my rig, I think it's a positive. So I think that's a really cool thing. And I think that's something you can get in the S1H. And I gotta be honest, I like the Canon menus a whole lot better than I like the menus on the Lumix. The menus on the Lumix are a little confusing. Even still, after shooting it for 4 years, it's still a little confusing and I can still get lost. With these, it's just super simple. So I kind of appreciate what the cinema, because I don't usually use the photo menus, what the cinema menus look like. Another really awesome thing about this camera is the EF mount. The fact that I could use it. I could use EF mount on my Lumix cameras, but the fact that you could use EF glass on this just makes it really viable and easy. I get cheap, I shouldn't call it cheap, but I get pretty good glass for inexpensive money. Like for example, I got this 16 to 35 EF, and I got it for I think like $500, which to me is a really good deal. It's a really excellent lens. It's a Mach 2, and I think that Yeah, it's a second. Yeah, it's a Mach 2. So I think it's a great lens, and again, inexpensive because it's EF. They're getting older now. I mean, the autofocus is not as snappy as from what I understand from like Sony glass or from modern RF glass. But I think for the money, I think it's fine. I don't think you need the most stickiest autofocus in the world. I just think you need, you know, the ability to be able to use your tools the right way. And, you know, again, EF glass, there's so much of it out there. You get it inexpensive, and it's pretty easy to, you know, pretty easy to use. So I would definitely, if you get one of these, you know, shoot on EF. So that being said, in 2026, if you're looking for a new camera, if you're looking to upgrade your camera and you want to buy a nice used, lightly used Canon R5c, I would totally encourage you to. There's a couple of other creators that I follow on YouTube, and they're longtime Canon shooters, and they love the R5c, and that's probably part of the reason why I ended up, you know, even looking into this camera, was because they were so advocate about how good it is. And honestly, after the last 7 months of having it, it's been great using it. You know, the camera, the battery life really hasn't hurt me much. When I first got it, I actually posted a video about this camera. Somebody told me to get the new LP6 batteries that the R5 IIs use. So I bought one of those, and handheld at 4K 60, it's great. You know, it's a little heavy once you put a cage on it, but it's supposed to be. It's professional. It feels good in your hand, like something about it. But anyway, so I just wanted to kind of talk about this and just kind of follow up on my last video. When I posted that video, I really hadn't had much experience with the camera as far as using it, so I kind of just wanted to follow up and just talk about, hey, do I still feel the same 7 months later, or do I want to trade this thing in for like a C50 or something? And at the end of the day, the C50 looks like an amazing camera, but I would not trade this for a C50. Just the price, what I'm gonna get in return, it's not better than an R5c. It's just not. Like, it's a little better, like just mildly better, but not better enough where it's worth the extra $2,000 to spend, plus whatever else you have to get the camera to, you know, to basically function the way you want it. So that's just my thoughts. I know that I'm just an amateur over here just talking cameras and stuff, but just wanted to talk about this today, and I just wanted to put this video out there. I am right now actively using my Nikon ZR. I'm getting used to it right now. I'm using it with EF glass because it's the only glass I have, obviously. And I might buy the Megadap adapter and use some Sony glass, only because I see a lot of Sony prime lenses pretty cheap on Marketplace, so I might want to take advantage of that. But for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be shooting on it specifically just to document what do I think of it. So far, so good. I think the camera's amazing. And if you see this video, it's shot on it. So you tell me what you think. All right. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.